Hello friends, welcome back to my channel again. Today I'm going to talk about a fantasy series that I recently read and enjoyed. If you have seen my book shopping video in Chennai, you might know that I have acquired a very famous fantasy series that is called The Letters of Enchantment Duology. The first book of the duology is Divine Rivals. The second one is Ruthless Vows. So let us first see what this book is about. We follow Iris, Vino, and Roman Kit. Both of them are working in the same company, a newspaper agency, and they are competing for the same job. At the beginning of the story, Iris' elder brother, Forrest Vino, is going to fight in a war and she's sending him off. And here comes the interesting part. The war is between two gods, Darcy and Enva. And their story was very good. Forrest Vino is going to fight for Enva. So what actually happens in the story is, after Forrest Vino goes to war, Iris tries to correspond to him. She keeps on writing letters, but there is no reply. And it's been 6 months since he had left for war. So she's getting worried about him, and she's trying to do that regular mail, and also she has a typewriter and she kind of types the letter to him and just keeps in her wardrobe, and those letters are magically vanishing. She has no idea what is happening, but she thinks that somehow by magic or mystery it is reaching Forest. That is how Iris thinks. But guess what? Those letters are received by her arch nemesis, Roman Kit. I cannot say anything further about the story without spoiling it, but this story, despite the fact that it is taking place during a wartime, it was very cozy. I could feel the typewriter sound, I could feel the ink, and I could feel the scribbling sound of a pen, of writing, and it was all so nostalgic and old school, which is what I like in books most. This book describes landscape and the city so vividly, and you will feel like you are sitting inside that cafe where what they are describing, and you can just smell the coffee also. It was so well written. The striking factor of this book was the writing. It will keep you bounded inside the story, and I could not put this down often. I had to go to work and I hated it because I constantly kept thinking about what is going to happen next in this book. Also, the best part of this book was, which I loved the most, is it has magical typewriters. Like, there are two typewriters, they just magically can correspond to each other. All you have to do is type in one typewriter and the owner of the other typewriter receives that letter. How cool is that? It was the wonderful concept I ever read in a book, and the fact that it involved typewriters rather than anything else was very unique. The next factor about this book is romance. This is basically a love story. I don't read much of romance. If there is one genre that I'm willing to let go of, that would be romance. I cannot stand reading straight out romance books, but I love that as a subplot in some fantasy or in other books. So this was kind of perfect for me. At times it was a little bit cheesy, but in a good way. You know what is going to happen, but it was so well written, and sometimes cheesiness is required to make you feel all the butterflies. Also about the romance, I loved it because it is old school. Like, it is in Pride and Prejudice, they exchange letters and all those things. I don't like fast paced romance, or I don't like to read smut much. This was very clean romance, and that is what I liked about it most. So basically, I enjoyed reading this duology. It was so fun, so much good. These striking factors that I want to just emphasize on are the writing, which was lush and poetic and was very captivating. And the second one is it has letters, which I love in a book. Reading letters is so fun and old school. So that is the kind of vibe then this book is for you. And also it had magical typewriters and the subtle clean romance. So I would highly recommend you to check this out. This is a wonderful duology, and here's the proof. I have enjoyed it thoroughly. I have annotated it like hell. If possible, I'll show you a cutaway of all my annotations here, but it's just literally very satisfying and happy to watch this finished reading copy of this two duology, and I'm going to cherish these annotated copies through my entire life and maybe pass it on to the next generation. The only problem with this book I had was there was not enough mythology about those gods who are going into the war. I was craving for much more story from their part, but nonetheless, it was very good because Roman Kit and Iris Winnow will keep you engaged. And I was happy with the way it turned out. So that is pretty much it, guys. These are all the thoughts that I wanted to share about this duology, and I highly recommend this book for you to check out. If you're like me who don't like straight out romance, then this would be a better choice and better alternative for romance books. Until I see you again in a very next video with the bookish content, keep reading. This is Sushmita signing off.